All right. And now let me share the screen. Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
That's great. So today we are going to start with, as I told you in the last class, my Metasploitable was not downloaded yet, but then I've downloaded it right now. So let me walk you through the setup of Metasploitable. And after that, we're going to look at the different types of scans in Nmap today. Okay. So naming a few, that will be a TCP full connect scan, a SYN scan, null and fin. And we're going to look at different detections in present in your Nmap scan, that including OS detection, version detection, and some other common options. Right? Is that good with you? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Right, that's great. So the first thing of today, let's start up with setting up Metasploitable, sorry, see. Right. So, so once you have your Metasploitable downloaded from the link that was shared yesterday, you'll have something like this as a zipped folder, right? So extract it. And once you get in, you can find all these different files. So this is different from the .ova type we were looking at. .ova is the virtual appliance where you directly click it and it sets it up everything. Whereas this is a VMDK. VMDK meaning virtual machine disk. So I'll just walk you through about how it is done. So open your virtual box and then go to tools here and then new. Once you click new, it will pop you up with this, enter your Metasploitable name, whatever, and change the type to Linux and Ubuntu 64, right? And then click next. But the RAM you can have it around 1 GB or 512. That is okay. And here as a main part, you don't have to go and create a virtual disk. You have to click use an existing disk and go to the browse button here, and you'll see your selector window like this. Go on to the add part of it, and now navigate to the place where you have actually extracted your Metasploitable. When you navigate inside that, when you go to that, you can find the VMDK, click open, and it should add you up like this. Okay, click that and choose. Will actually do it, and then create. So clicking on create will create something like this, and you can go ahead and start it to check how it looks. All right, there you go. So when you open up the Metasploitable and start your VM, it will load up and it will look something like this, where you can see the log credentials directly over there. So go ahead and type it msfadmin, and the password is also msfadmin. And you should find something like this. Okay. So the first thing you're going to do is find out the IP address of it. And how you're going to find out the IP address of that? ifconfig is a command. Yes, yes, that's it. So these are all again the Linux networking things that you might have learned. So that being said about Metasploitable, let's just leave it open here. So 1.13 is the IP address of that. And also don't forget to change the settings of this, okay? You can find the settings, and what settings you need to change is network. Go ahead to network, and initially that will be to NAT. you have to change it to bridge and select your wireless adapter. Or if you have an Ethernet, select Ethernet. Who's that is? In terms of 10.1, who's that? Susan, okay. So let me tell you, Susan, one thing, did you actually change your network adapter over here? And also, Sujan, man, what happened? What happened about your Kali Linux? Is it done? Yeah, that's it. So you have to always change this to a bridged adapter. Now you might have a doubt about what is the difference between an AT adapter and what's a bridge adapter or something like that. So if you put it to bridge adapter, it will actually create a separate connection for this particular thing and assign an IP. And then you have to select whatever connection you're having to your host system. So if at all you're connecting through a Ethernet LAN cable, select the Ethernet. And if at all you're using your Wi-Fi, select the wireless adapter. One more thing you have to do is go into the advanced, and initial thing you will be seeing in the promiscuous will be deny. You have to change it to allow all. Okay. Any doubts up to now?
No, sir.
Okay, that's great. So that being the change in the network settings, and yeah, this is what you have it over here about Metasploitable. Let me actually go ahead and start my Kali too. So coming back to our session, our presentation. So I think you guys have already seen the connection establishment in your networking classes. So who can tell me about what is a three-way handshake and what is a connection?
So three-way handshake, it is a it's a process of between client and server for establishing connection, where client sends the SYN packet to the server and server will send the acknowledgement back to the client, where the client will it will check if that acknowledgement is from the correct server and send back another SYN sync packet. Then after three such like you know contacts, then the connection will be established.
Okay, good. Anybody else wants to try out this? That's a good one actually. So anybody else wants to try out? Come on, guys. I receive messages asking about doubts and stuff. So that actually makes me feel good because, you're actually involving, getting involved into the content that I'm teaching. That is very good. But then I want you guys to be interactive in this session too. You understand? Whenever the session is going on, I can actually hear only 2 to 3 people talking stuff. Is it? So I don't want that. I want everybody to actually, get involved in this. And remember one thing, this is not your college. Nobody is going to judge you for any doubt that you ask. It might be the silliest doubt. It's okay. There is nothing silly about any doubt. Okay. I'll answer whatever doubts you have. Let's be a bit friendly. You can ask me any doubt. And I think I've told this to you N times. If I know whatever you're asking about, I'll actually answer it. If I don't know, I'll go back, I'll refer it, and then I'll come back and answer. So in any ways, you'll get an answer. So be free, ask any doubts that you have. So yeah, who else is going to answer this? Connection establishment. What is a three-way handshake? And don't use these client server, SYN, ACK. I can also tell you those technical stuff, but then let's actually keep it simple. So who can give me an example, a real life example of how it goes on? Come on, guys. We have 14 participants, including me. Well, I never thought that Monday morning or Monday afternoon would be such a lazy, lazy day, man. Seriously, is it? Is it? Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Come on, answer. Okay. Well, I can't do anything if you're actually not right. So let's actually move on. So this is a very simple connection establishment type where you actually initiate your connection over here and the other party replies you with an acknowledgement, yeah, that I have received your request and this is the initiation from my side. And the first party will send another acknowledgement and saying that, you know, yeah, well, I have also received your stuff, and therefore that is a three-way handshake and the connection is established over here. So the SYN packet that you see is something that is used for the connection initiation, and acknowledgement says that, yeah, I have received your request, something like that. So in a real time thing about how it goes on, for example, you and your friend are trying to communicate, you wave your hand, that is your SYN packet. He also waves back his hand saying, yeah, hi. So the acknowledgement over there is him actually seeing you, and you know, yeah, he saw you, so that is the acknowledgement, yeah, that there is actually communication going on between the eyes. Now I don't want to go further than that. And then he waves you back. That is his SYN request. And then there's a connection establishment. So that is that simple about the connection establishment. Okay. So yeah, as a formality, any doubts in this?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Right, that's great. So let's actually see some TCP flags before we actually go into the Nmap scans or different Nmap scans. Okay, so we have these different flags. Obviously, you have more stuff in the TCP segment header. You know, you have checksum and different other stuff. But then mainly we're going to look at these things. Okay. Now, who can tell me what is the SYN packet? Guys, I just want you to answer.
Maybe synchronize.
Yeah, synchronize. That's a good thing. What does it do? And see, don't be afraid of being judged that, you know, if I tell a wrong answer, people will think something else. No, it is not like that. You come here to learn, and you start learning by making mistakes. Okay, so everything is accepted. Okay, we also started by making mistakes. So nothing wrong. Don't be afraid that you'll be judged. Just answer, even if it is wrong. It's okay. Okay, yeah. Somebody was telling what is the SYN packet?
It starts a synchronized connection, like uplink and downlink type.
Okay, yeah, that's good. So SYN packet is actually used to initiate a connection, simply. Okay, what do you mean by an ACK packet? ACK.
It's a reply.
Good, good. It's a reply, but what exactly is it? A reply can have a SYN also. It can have an ACK also. So what is the difference between? What is it?
Like it's like telling the system which sends the SYN package that I have received the SYN package. So
Exactly.
we can continue the connection.
Exactly. So it is nothing but a flag that will say that, yeah, I have received whatever request you've sent me. What do you mean by RST?
Maybe reset the connection with a new SYN.
Okay, good. Partly correct. Any other?
Reestablish.
Hello?
Reestablish the.
Okay, that was a good try, but not exactly re-establish. Anybody else? Okay, my bad expecting. So yeah, so RST. So RST is nothing but a reset. So a reset simply is used to abruptly terminate or break a connection. So that is what is reset. So resetting. So in a general terms, what do you mean by reset? You know, getting everything back to the original things, something like that. But here, RST, a reset packet, means that the connection is to be terminated abruptly. So what do you mean by FIN packet? It's okay even if it is wrong. No idea. Sure, bro. Get ideas. Okay. So a fin stands for finish. Okay. Yeah. So again, finish. I gave you the hint. Finish. So what do you mean by finish? Can you guess? Give it a wild guess.
Connection is completed, like they are ready to.
Yes. 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 Your voice, but then I got your point. So what you said is right. So fin is actually also used to terminate a connection once after the purpose of your communication is over. Okay. So SYN synchronize was sent to start or initiate a connection, and FIN finish is used to terminate a connection once after the purpose of the communication is over. Okay. It's simply like whenever you call somebody, the SYN packet is hello. And whenever you want to close up the connection, cut the call, you say bye and cut. So this is something like hello, and this is something like a bye. Now you can ask me, I mean, obviously you won't be asking me this doubt and expecting is obviously much hurting thing to me. So let me actually go ahead and answer this question myself. So what is the difference between reset and fin? Both are used to terminate the connections, is it? So the difference is this is a smooth termination, whereas this is an abrupt termination. Okay. For example, I'll give you a very normal and general example. Okay. Maybe you're talking to your friend, a girlfriend, or boyfriend, whoever it is. And the talk actually goes pretty smooth, really smooth and something. And after you've talked everything, you have to go and you say bye bye and then cut. That is fin. The other case being you just had a fight with that person, and you just go ahead and cut that call without any reply or something like that. So that is reset. So that is a very generic type of example of what is the difference between a reset and a fit, something like that. And URG, who can tell me what is URG? Urgent flag. Varshini, yes, that's true. Urgent flag. So can you tell me what it does? Urgent.
It probably says if a particular data which is being transmitted needs in an urgent phase, like you need a specific data right now and you want that data to be sent first.
Yes, that's very good. See, all your answers are actually correct. They're actually very close to the correct answers, or are absolutely right. So don't be scared of answering them. Okay. I was also a student, and at the start I was also a totally introvert. I also used to think that I'll be judged if I ask something, but then time just changed that I actually went ahead and asked my silly doubts too. And obviously, yeah, people laughed at me sometimes, but then my doubt was cleared. Okay, at the end of the day, that is good to me. So yes, your answer is correct. Whenever the URG flag is set for a packet, the priority goes high. That has to be that has to be transmitted first, or used in a communication first. So what do you mean by PSH?
Push.
Push. Yes, that's good. Can
Well, I just guessed it. I don't know exactly actually.
yeah, so that stands for actually push. So simply,
Send
simply
packages.
it states that yeah. Somebody was answering, yeah.
Yes, it's just to send the packages.
Yes, so it's something like whenever you have information stored in the buffer up till then, so the push will actually send that particular data from the buffer into the next layer. Okay. So while sending from maybe from the application layer to the transport and the transport to application. So that is something about TCP flags. You have definitely different other flags too, but then these are some of the important flags. So any doubts up till now?
No, sir.
Right, that's great. So let's move on to the first type of scan, TCP connect scan of Nmap. This is also called as a full open scan. Why? Because it establishes a full TCP connection, that is the three-way connection that we saw over here. And this is often termed as a very noisy scan, and anybody, I mean a network admin or somebody can actually easily detect the scan. Why? Because there is actually logging happening whenever the acts are going back to the person who initiated, and there is a communication that is actually established. Okay, so obviously you'll be recording logs, so which is why a TCP connect scan is a bit of noisy scan kind of thing. Okay, so how does Nmap detect if there is like, if the port is open or a port is closed? So whenever the TCP connect scan is actually happening, the open port is detected by a reception of an SYN-ACK packet from that side. So let me tell you. So anyways, you're initiating your scan by sending a SYN to the port, and the port is replying with the SYN-ACK. So whenever you receive a SYN-ACK, Nmap understands that, yeah, this particular port is open. If the port is closed, there'll be a reply with a RST packet. Now, what was RST packet as we discussed?
Reset.
Reset. Yeah. So RST means reset. So let's actually try and perform a full TCP scan on our Metasploitable 192.168.1.13. And usage. The usage for TCP connect scan is I left it open, guys. I want you to answer. Right. So it is ST. Okay. S capital T, as you can find here. So in map 192.168.1.13 was Metasploitable, and I want a full TCP connect scan. So let me actually initiate. A very cliche question again. So is my screen visible to you guys? Am I audible to you guys?
Yes, sir.
So yeah. So there you go. That's a full established TCP connection, fully established TCP connection, and yeah, this is very noisy. Okay, so this is how you do it, and this is the tag. And you know, whenever you're entering this nmap command, don't think that there is any particular order for these options to be given. It can be given in any order. Okay, for example, I can write this also as nmap space tag st and then the IP address. And moreover, you can also perform this on a range of IPs too. Okay, all you have to do is specify the range. That's it. For example, I want it to be performed on all the IPs available in my home network, for suppose. So anyways, 255 will be the last for the section. So 0 to 255 is what I'm going to do. And you know, I don't want to waste much time in it. So I'll just go ahead and do a ping scan. Now, who can tell me what is a ping scan? What is the difference between a normal scan and a ping scan?
It scans only the open ports at that IP.
Okay, good try. Anybody else? Come on, try. Okay, let me break this. So a ping scan simply performs whatever angry IP scanner is performing. Okay. So essentially, if I have to tell it in terms of nmap, it just looks for the host, whether it is up or down. Okay. That is, it disables a port scan. So yeah, we'll be looking into detail about this in the next coming slides in this particular session. So if you can see, all these things are actually up and running in my network. So this is something about the TCP. All right. So moving on to the next. Yeah, and one more thing I wanted to show this. Okay, I'll show it to you further. So let's go back to the PPT. So this was about TCP Connect scan. The next thing is SYN scan. So SYN scan. This is also called as a half open scan. You know, this the TCP Connect is a full open scan, and this is a half open scan, and this is a bit more stealthier compared to a TCP scan. Why is it a bit more stealthier compared to the TCP scanners? In a full TCP Connect scan, you're actually sending the acknowledgement back, okay, which will help that particular server or the victim to log it very clearly. Whereas in SYN scan, you receive the SYN ACK, but you don't send an acknowledgement packet back. You understand? So this is where the connection is left out. Okay, it is left out. So it leaves the server or the victim in confusion without receiving an ACK scan and without any establishment of connection. It just leaves it over there. So that will be in confusion and that can't decide if who this is or something. So this is something about SYN scan. And by default, if you don't mention anything about any scan, I mean, if you don't mention an option about a TCP scan, or if you don't mention any option about XMAS, ACK or FIN scan or null scan, whatever, the default scan done by Nmap will be a SYN scan. Or if you want to specify it, you can also specify with a tag SS. And the first S is the smallest and the second S will be a capital S. Okay, let's go ahead and perform this. Yeah. There you go. You have a SYN scan. Okay. So you just want to go and examine the different stuff, you can go. So 977 closed ports. But then we actually remembered discussing about scanning on 65,535 ports, oh, so 65,536 ports, is it? So why is it showing me only 977 ports? I think we actually discussed about this in the last class. So who is going to answer this? Why is it actually showing only 977 ports and not the other 65,000 plus ports?
Passive
Maybe
scan.
they inserted in open.
The voice is breaking. Okay, keyboard volume is up.
Because of the passive scan, it does, sir.
Passive scan. Okay, what do you mean by a passive scan? See, Nmap
Where
what?
all the general automatic inbuilt ports.
Okay, that was a try. But then passive scan, I can't say you can say it as a passive scan because Nmap, as I told you when I was actually starting with Nmap is illegal. To perform Nmap on anybody without their consent is actually illegal. Why? Because it's an active scan. So Nmap is completely an active scan. What do you mean by an active or passive? An active is where you actually contact the victim, be in contact with the victim. So that is about an active scan, whereas passive scan, you don't be in the actual contact. Okay, so by default, it'll only scan a few ports. We need to specify tag to scan everybody. Everybody. So Abhishek, yeah. So the second part and both the first part is actually true. By default, Nmap will scan only the common 1000 ports, very common 1000 ports. Okay. And when I say common 1000 ports, it doesn't have to be 0 to 1000 ports only. It will also scan for, if you can see many other ports here that are much greater than the number 1000, but they come under the common 1000 ports. So what the common 1000 ports, I mean, these services by default are run on those ports. I'm already telling you, you know, MySQL would run on 3306 port by default, and Postgres on 5432, something like that. So these are those common 1000 ports. Okay. So going further, we'll also learn about another particular scan that will run on only the top 100 ports. So that being a different thing. So this is about SYN-SCAN. Okay. And yeah, so for that point to be repeated, how is Nmap actually detecting that this particular port is up in a SYN scan? It is the same as a TCP scan. It will receive a SYN-ACK if the port is open, and it will receive an RST if the particular port is closed. But the only difference is you're not actually sending any acknowledgement. Okay. Any doubts up till now? Can we move further?
No doubt.
Right. That's good. So next particular scan is called a null scan. Okay. A null scan. So as you can see it in the name, a null scan doesn't set any package to one. So all the sequences sent, all the flags sent in this particular scans are 0. Okay. So it will just send a packet with all zeros and no flags set. And when this particular scan is going on, it sends this null packet, and the server, what it does is it takes the request, and since it doesn't know how to handle the request because there is no flag set to it, it will just drop the packet. Okay. So yeah, no, it is a bit confusing. So let me actually tell you how it goes. So look at this particular thing. Just remove out all the SYN-ACKs. Just imagine these two parties and one request, one null packet going to the server. So this server saw the packet. It doesn't have anything in that. It will drop the packet. I mean, if the port is open. If the port is closed, obviously there is a reset packet that comes back. Okay. So the connection, how to know if a port is open or closed in this particular scan is, if there is no reply from the server, that means that the port might be open. If there is a reset packet that is received, it definitely confirms that it is a closed port. That is the difference between a SYN and a TCP, those both being in one group, and these type of scans where the port open or closed is actually got into knowledge with these particular replies. So if it receives a reset packet, it means that the port is closed. If there is no response, it means that there is an open port. But then, even if this particular scan is crazy stealthier than the other two scans, it gives only partial information. It doesn't give you a confirmed stuff about a port being open. It will open or filtered. Okay, it will tell you something like this: open or filtered. So open. So it can't decide if a port is open or filtered. What do you mean by open or filtered? Open means obviously the port is open, you can communicate with it. Whereas if it is filtered, it means that there is something like a firewall in between that is sitting. Okay. So that is how you will actually get a reply from a null scan. So generally people run this particular null scan, and the next scans that I'm going to tell, which is a fin scan or an XMAS scan or something like that, is to know if a port is open or not. That's it. Okay. If there is an RST packet that you get, that is closed. If there is no response, that is open. But as I told you again, it will give you just a partial info. So Nmap SN. So let's run that over here. There you go. So if you see, what is the difference between the state that you see in the SYN scan that we performed and the state in the null scan that we performed? Here, it exactly says that this particular port is open because of the SYN-ACK confirmation it received. But whereas here, you can see that this particular state is open or filtered. Okay, because the packet is actually being dropped. So whenever you have a firewall, it will obviously block those requests. So it will drop those packets. So there can be a firewall. Or the second thing is maybe the port has actually dropped those packets. So this is something about the null scan. The next particular scan we are going to see is a fin scan. So yeah, again, so what is a fin again? As we discussed earlier in this presentation. So what is a fin?
To cut the connection.
Good, good, good. So instead of putting all those zeros, that is, no set flags, you actually set the fin scan and send that request. That is the difference between a null and a fin scan. But then the response will be something very similar. If the port is closed, it will receive a reset packet. If it's open, there won't be any response from it, and the usage will be tagged as F. Any doubts? Guys, any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, good, good. So yeah, so there you can see that. Okay, this is also being replied with a open filtered if that port is open, and the rest are closed because of a reset packet. Okay. So up to this part of the presentation, do you guys have any doubts? I'm expecting a doubt over here. So think of it. I'm expecting an actual doubt over here. Think about what doubt you would ask me to impress me. Come on. Come on. At least 2 doubts.
Finish.
Finish? Okay. What finish? So what is your doubt?
So difference between fin and null scans, they both
Good,
act as
good.
same.
Exactly the doubt I was looking for. So who was this who asked that doubt? Okay, who? So I was actually looking for this doubt where you're receiving the same stuff in both null and fin scan. All you're doing is just flipping up the fin bit. So what is the actual difference which you find between the null and fin scan? So that should have actually poked you through, is it? So that was the exact doubt I was looking for. The thing is firewall evasion. Okay, firewall. So bypassing a firewall is what you are actually looking at in a null or in a fin, or further in an XMAS or an acknowledgement scan. Okay. So whenever somebody configures a firewall, they actually know that if a particular packet has no has no flag setup, that will definitely be used something for a malicious purpose or something. Like they want to perform a scan or something. So the first rule they'd be obviously writing is, whenever you receive a packet with all zeros, just kill it over there. Don't reply anything. So in that case, just to be a bit safe, you'll actually just set the fin flag. That is the actual difference. So maybe null scan doesn't have much chance of bypassing a firewall, but then a fin scan can have. Moreover, if a fin doesn't do it, then the further scans XMAS or ACK will do. And when I'm saying about XMAS and ACK scan, they are also something like this, an indirect kind of scans, which will give you only partial info, very, very stealthier. All these four, null, fin, XMAS and ACK, all these four are very, very stealthier. So, they'll only give you if the port is open or not. But then the difference between that is maybe a person who actually configured a firewall forgot to write about push scan or something like that. So let me give you an example. In XMAS scan, you actually put up the URG bit 2. So urgent bit is also set to 1. Maybe the firewall was configured like this, that it will allow all the requests which urgent with urgent packets, because the communication to be there to be done there is actually very urgent, is it? So this is all about bypassing firewalls or something like that. So run a null. If it doesn't actually give you through a firewall, if you suspect that all your packets are dropped, then go ahead and run a fin scan. If it doesn't work, go ahead and run an acknowledgement scan, or if that doesn't work, perform an XMA scan. Okay. So this being said, I want to ask you guys, in what scenarios will you use these stealthier scans, and in what scenarios will you use the actual SYN scan and something like that, whereas you actually have some connection established at least. So I'm putting forward this question to you guys. Who's going to answer me? So when are you actually using the TCP connect SYN? And when are you actually using an XMAS fin or ACK scan or null scan? Who can answer this? There you go. I have the chat window open. Guess. Oh, see, I'll literally be very grateful if I actually get the correct answer this time. So I'm waiting for you guys. Just a wild guess is also okay. Even if it is wrong, no problem at all. I'll put forward the question again, much clearer. In which scenarios are you going to use a SYN and TCP scan, and which scenarios are you going to use any these indirect scans, like the null scan or fin scan or whatever? So two different scenarios. One is about that, one is about this. So when are you going to use that, and when are you going to use this? To overload the connections. Okay, Sujan, that's a good answer. But what do you mean by to overload connections? Using SYN. Okay. Can you explain much further? SYN TCP for DDoS or DOS attack. Okay, good. Next. Come on. I've received some beautiful answers over here. Come on. Okay, so I'll give you the hints itself. Maybe I'll make this thing a bit easier for you, and you can answer to me based on that. So a scenario 1 is where you actually were given a particular system or a particular asset to you to perform penetration testing, and there is actually a written consent for you that you can go ahead and perform penetration testing on a particular asset. In that case, which type of scan are you going to use? First thing. And the second thing is, in the second scenario is where you want to perform a scan on your friend's machine, for suppose, and you don't want him to know that you are running a scan. So in either of these scenarios, which particular scans are you going to use? In what scenarios? Scenario 1, you have the consent of the person, you can go ahead and penetrate it. Scenario 2, you don't want the person to know that you're running a scanner. Which one and when? So this is about the two scenarios. For legal scan, we can go for the open scans. Good, Srujan. That was the exact answer I was looking for. Next, in the second one, we can use a SYN scan. Why do you think so? You might have some very legit reason. So while messaging around with friends, because we are hiding ourselves, this SYN can be used. All right. There's some good answers without sending an ACK. Very good. Right. So that was actually a very legit reason, Rakesh. So the thing is, a SYN scan, though it is stealthier compared to the TCP scan, excuse me. Yeah. So though, though there is a bit of stealthier stuff in your SYN scan, it is better to run the much stealthier scans when you actually don't want that person to detect any of your stuff. Okay, or maybe if you want to do firewall evasion, something like that. So if you want it to be completely stealthy, you're going to use these scans. That is null, fin, xmas, ACK or something. But Rakesh, yes, to some extent, your point is right. That is, SYN scan is a bit stealthier compared to TCP scan. So be it in any case, I wouldn't suggest you guys to actually use a TCP connect scan. That is very useless. So yes, so as Srujan, yeah, so as you were saying, if you have the consent to penetrate an asset by the person, there you can actually go ahead and use the SYN scan or TCP scan. So what is the difference? What is the other difference between those open scans and these closed scans is? In the closed scans, you're not actually getting the confirmation that a port is open. So as you've seen the state, it can be open or filtered. That means Nmap is not actually going to guess that this particular port is open, or does it have a firewall. Whereas if you do a SYN scan or if you do a TCP scan, you are getting a confirmed message that so and so port is open, or if at all you get the state to be filtered in one of the ports, that definitely says that there is a firewall or something that is blocking. Okay, so that is about accuracy. So full connect scans give you accuracy, whereas these close scans such as null or fin, they give you stealth. Okay, that is the actual difference between them. So the next part being OS detection, service version detection. So who can actually attempt to answer these two? What is OS detection? What is version detection?
As as the name says, it's OS and version.
Okay, good. What is the version detection?
Maybe the plus of the version. Oh, sorry. Maybe the flavor voice.
What? Hello? Try. It's okay. Try.
It's just the versions of the services running in the background or active.
Right. That's good. That is good. So let me explain you the exact difference. So as I was saying here, as I was telling you, whenever you perform, whenever you perform a SYN or DC, so let's take the SYN scan for example, right? Let me actually go ahead and perform the SYN scan. So just to give you a confirmation that this is a SYN scan. So I'm performing that over here, and on the other hand, I'm also performing service version OS detection SYN scan 192.168.1.30. So you can see something over here, and you can also see something over here. Let's wait. So before it actually displays your results, let me give you the keyword over here. So as I was already telling you, when you don't mention the port numbers, it runs the scan on the common 1000 ports. So when you say that it is running on the common 1000 ports, that means that it knows generally generally what services run on which ports. For example, if there is a 21 port open, by default Nmap understands that there is an FTP service running on 21 port. Okay, but the thing with the ports is you can run SSH also on 21 port. Okay, which in that case, if you don't enable the service detection and version detection flag in this Nmap, it will detect 21 port as FTP only. It won't say that it is running an SSH service. So that is the actual difference between enabling a version detection tag and without enabling a version detection tag. Okay. So when you don't enable the version detection tag, Nmap is just guessing that this particular port can run this particular service because they are under the common port list. For example, for 80, for example, port 80, generally we run all your websites or HTTP services that are running. 80 port will be the one by default. So if you don't enable the version detection tag, Nmap will guess that to be HTTP. So HTTP is running on 80. So I'm thinking that I'll be running maybe no, not HTTP, but I'll be running for example MySQL. I want to run MySQL on 80. So I'll go ahead and change the port where I want to run MySQL, and I'll run MySQL service on 80. But then if you don't enable the version detection, Nmap will still detect that 80 to be HTTP. Whereas if you run this particular tag, that is SV, version detection, it will run a script to detect the version, and it will give a confirmation saying that 80 is running MySQL. So that is a difference between a normal scan with a default scan and the scan where you actually use the version detection. So this is diving deep into the scan. It is grabbing the banners or whatever background process it is doing. It is actually checking for the versions of services that is actually running on these ports. So that is a difference. $513. So right, that's a good question. So login. So it is guessing that there might be some sort of a login service running on 513. That is the only thing. Okay, and the other thing is whenever you don't run the service or version detection scan, can you observe the 8180 port over here, which is open? What do you see under the service? There is an unknown, because maybe 8180, whatever service it is, running, Nmap was not able to guess because that doesn't come under a common service problem. But whereas you're running 8180, I mean, when you're running a scan with a service version detection, it grabbed the banner of the Tomcat Coyote engine that is actually going on, and it gave you that HTTP service is actually running on 8180. Understood? So that is the difference. And again, tag capital O is pretty much easier to understand. It's actually running a OS detection. So it gets that out to be Linux or whatever, and you can see some other banner information about it. So that is something about version detection and OS detection. So again, let's take the first scenario that we talked about, where you have a legal consent of how to perform a penetration. I'd suggest you also include these tags, because this is what is giving you much information about whatever is running. Okay, so if at all you have a consent, go ahead and run it. That's it. And we also learned about one particular scan, that is aggressive scan, in the last class. So in another, we can actually go ahead and run a aggressive scan. And then 192.168. So can you actually take a dig at why is an aggressive scan taking much time? So, or to be precise, does anybody know what is the actual difference between running just an aggressive scan and running a version detection and overscan? Anybody actually tried it out? What difference can you see?
Like runs all the scripts that it has.
Yes, that's true. That's good. So that was something very close to the exact answer I was looking for. So
Like all
version detection.
version detection.
Come again. Come again.
Like all sorts of version detections, like all the options that has to be done.
Right. That's true. So the actual difference between aggressive scan and just a version and overscan is, if you run just a version and overscan, yeah, you'll be able to detect some versions out. You can get those version numbers out. You can get the OS that is running. You can get kernel info. But then an aggressive scan also involves a trace route, and also it runs some additional scripts. Okay. So if you see, this is actually giving a trace route of how your thing is going. And the other thing is, whatever is displayed here, it is actually displayed with much much in detail, much more in detail, something like that. So for example, let's take 21 port results in the version scan and an aggressive scan. If you see the 21 port, it says that it is running VSFTPD 2.3.4, which is obviously a vulnerable VSFTPD service. Whereas if you go to the aggressive scan, it has something, to be precise, it has a script that actually detects an anonymous FTP login. So, which gives you out this particular thing, FTP anonymous FTP login. So that means that I can go ahead and connect to that particular IP address with an FTP as anonymous. So anonymous login means you don't need any password. Okay. You just type anonymous and enter, it will correct you. So these are the different kinds of scripts that it will also run in an aggressive scan. So this is the major difference between the normal version detection overscan and aggressive scan. Okay, it runs additional steps. Remember that. And in the next session, that is tomorrow, we'll also discuss about vulnerability scanning. You know, some different scanners out there, and we'll look how to run custom scripts. I mean, you know, different scripts with the script engine of Nmap. Okay? That's SC. And you can actually go ahead and give the path of the script. So we'll look at this in tomorrow's session. So this was something about aggressive scan. Okay. So do you guys have any doubt up to now? Guys?
No.
All right. So let's see some other commonly used options with this thing. Let me add one more. Okay. So tag ON, OX, or you actually have different other options too, OS or OG. So let's leave about OS or OG and let's talk about ON and OX, small O, capital N. So this is different from the capital O we used. The capital O gives you the OS information, whereas small o and capital N, or small o and capital X, is actually used to save the output into a file so that you don't have to run a scan again and again. Okay. So in this, N is normal, you know, normal text file or normal file, whereas X is an XML file. So it will store it in an XML file, something. And then, you know, you might have seen me using a -T4, is it? With an aggressive scan. So a -T and 0 to 5 talks about the timing of a scan. So on a scale of 0 to 5, the higher or the greater number you put, the faster will be the scan. But then limitations again. So if you want the scan to be very fast, it will be a bit out of accuracy kind of thing. Okay. The next is tag 6. When you put a tag 6, it also enables IPv6. So you can give an IP address. And the next thing is, so in the start of the session, I was telling you another mode that scans only top 100 ports, 100 common ports. So this is that. So tag capital F. Now don't get confused between SF and F. SF means that SF means that you should run the Nmap should run a FinScan, whereas only mode. So by default, Nmap scans only 1000 top ports, whereas if you put fast mode, it will scan 100. Okay. The next is ping scan. So I think at the start of this session, we already discussed about ping scan too. This goes, so this goes with the same functionality of how an Angry IP scanner runs. Okay. So there is no port scanning here. So again, by default, it runs with the 1000 ports. When you put it with a ping scan, it doesn't scan any port. It just sends a request and gets an acknowledgement that yeah, this particular host is up. Okay. Next, tag small v. This is about verbosity. Verbosity again is the detailing of what you get in an output. Okay. So you can also increase the verbosity by adding another v. So double v is sorry, oh, sure. Not so when you add a double v after the tag or something like that. So that is about verbosity. Tag P, I think you guys pretty much know about this. Tag P is about port specification. Okay. So if you want to run the scanner, if you want to run Nmap only for some specific ports, you can actually use this. Or if you want to run it on, maybe I just wanted to run on 22, 20, 25, 80, and 3306. So I can specify it like this. So 192, 168.1.13. So it will go ahead and run the scanner only for these particular ports. The next thing is giving up with the ranges. So maybe I want to run it for 1 to 100 ports. So I'll give the range like that. Yeah. So if you can see, I mentioned only these ports and it scanned only for those ports. Now, what is the use of this? This will actually speed up your scan, one thing. And if at all you want to know detail about only one or a few ports, you can run it only for those ports without disturbing the other. Now, why am I saying without disturbing the other is because, okay. So I think you yourself have actually answered that in the chat. You were saying about a DOS or a DDoS attack happening on the server. So if you send like shitload of requests to the server, it'll obviously get overloaded and it'll so there is a DOS attack on that particular system, whatever. So to be careful that you don't want to disturb the other ports or something like that, you can actually go ahead and give only the specific ports. So yeah, so I gave it as a range of 1 to 100, and you can see that no other port is above 100 or below 1. So in the same way, if I just put a dash, what does it mean?
It goes on for all the ports.
Exactly. So over the common 1000 ports, a dash means a range of 0 till the end. 0 till the end means all port scanning. So 8180 was the last what we got in the common 1000 ports. But then if you see, there are these particular services that are actually, these particular ports that are actually open. So again, yeah, the service detection probably failed over there, so it is not able to. So that is something about specifying ports. And yeah, reason. So reason is an option that will give the reason that's very simple. Okay, it just give you the reason of why it actually put it in this particular state, or what is the reason behind what happened, why the classification or something. So version detection in map. I'll run a fin scan 192.168.1 and I'll put it next. I want to perform a normal SYN scan. And obviously so you can see another column, reason. So what did it mention over here? No response, no response, no response. So you can take this as a proof of concept of what I told you about the fin scan. So it puts it in the open filtered state if it doesn't receive any response from that particular port, or if it receives a reset, it is closed. So this is about those closed kind of scans, and there you go. You can see the reason why it actually put it up in the open. This is a normal SYN scan that we do, and the reason is SYNAC. It received a SYNAC, that is why it put it in the open thing. And the other is 977 resets. Right. So these are something about the common other options. Okay. So before I actually tell you what the assignment for today is, do you guys have any doubt in the whole session?
No, sir.
Right, that's perfect. Any others? Guys, do you have any doubts? All right. So a limitation about these closed scans. Okay, I want you guys to read about RFC 793. Okay. Go ahead and read about RFC 793. And let me give you a hint. So in some particular scenarios, if the system doesn't follow the RFC 793 implementation, you cannot get any results from the closed scans. Okay, so that is a small hint about this. This will be interesting. Go and read about RFC 793. And the second thing is, I want you guys to check about EXMA scan and acknowledgement scan. This is the assignment for today. Got it? So that being said, thank you so much for today's session, and I hope I didn't disturb your Monday time. Right? So let's right. So goodbye.